is a new movie directed by Roland Emmerich, and this movie has an astonishing cast. It stars Ed Skrein, Woody Harrelson, Dennis Quaid, Aaron Eckhart, and also Patrick Wilson makes an appearance in this movie as well. So, and this movie is a biopic of the Battle of Midway, a battle that took place 6 months after the invasion of Japan and when they destroyed Pearl Harbor and back in 1941. And this movie right here was really interesting. I like the overarching concept of it. I like its story. It's a story we haven't really heard before. I never really heard the Battle of Midway before, and I do appreciate, you know, them giving out this story. But outside this overarching story, which is, I think, was phenomenal, I mean, is great to showing it on the big screen, is the movie itself wasn't really good, and I had a huge issue with the script, the screenplay, and its performances from the main cast in this movie. When it comes to biopic films, you know, there is a few biopic films I reviewed on this channel that didn't really pan out good, and I mentioned in one of my older reviews that just because it's like based off a true story doesn't mean that the actual movie itself is going to be good. I do want to shout out to all the soldiers that lost their lives during that battle, but the characters in this movie were bland, and I couldn't remember none of the characters' names in this movie. The performances from everyone in this movie, they did all right, but just because you have great actors in this movie doesn't mean the characters themselves are going to be presented in a good, fashionable way. And that was the main issue in this movie. Like, you saw Dennis Quaid, you saw Woody Harrelson, you know, they're great actors, but what are the characters' names? Who are these characters? They're playing real life people, but the film never, you know, fleshed out these real life people in the movie. That I'm just kind of questioning, like, who are these guys? I feel like they were just additional stand-ins. One of the things that really got to me was the dialogue in this movie. There is like few tropes that Roland Emmerich always falls into, where they have like certain characters, they have a certain trope and they act a certain way, that like a traditional way you used to see in other movies. Like Ed Skrein's character, he's the type of character who is always chewing gum in every other scene. He's considered one of the best pilots in the whole entire unit, and he's defiant, he's always arrogant, he's always in your face, like, what you doing? Yeah, we're considered one of the best pilots in the whole world, yeah. He's rebellious. He's kind of like Poe Dameron in a way, with a few elements here and there. And you know, his performance was just fine and a little bit funny, but the chewing gum, man, him chewing gum while he is talking in every single scene that he's in, it was distracting. Stop chewing the gum. Why is this dude chewing gum in every other scene? Did the real life person that he's playing, did he chew gum all the time? I mean, I just don't know. Ed Skrein, he's the main star. He plays Dick Best, and that's the ultimate porn star name, by the way. I gotta say that Ed Skrein did the best job that he could, but for me personally, I couldn't buy him playing a serious role like this, because, you know, where Ed Skrein is known for playing a douchebag or playing a villain in most of his movies, there are some scenes in this movie where he had to deliver some emotional scenes. I literally burst out laughing. Like, I just couldn't buy it. Maybe they could have cast someone else as Dick Best as a character. Maybe I would have bought it, but Ed Skrein, I just had a hard time buying his character. And now this is probably just me personally. Roland Emmerich is a shaky director. He directed the first Independence Day. He also directed Day After Tomorrow in 2012, and also he directed the dud Independence Day 2. And this movie, I have to say that the action sequences was pretty good for what I saw, and also the film did a good job of capturing the, you know, the Battle of Midway, and also the invasion of Japan when they attacked Pearl Harbor. He really did a good job of really bringing you into this world, and you see all the events that transpired. I don't know if it's completely accurate, but I just don't know, because I never heard the Battle of Midway before. So, but what I saw in the first act, the film did a good job of bringing me in. But then the movie was kind of elongated and long at times, and there was times where I felt a little bit bored. And this movie is 2 hours and 24 minutes, and I feel like this movie shouldn't be that long. But the detriment to this film was the noticeable green screen on certain explosions. Like, you could see like how glossy it is and how like cartoony it looks and some of the explosions, and I was just like, And the dialogue in this movie, was a huge cliche. Like, the way certain characters talk to one another, I just had a hard time buying it. You know, just like, you're the best paladin I have ever seen. And that's how most of these characters talk in this movie. Like, high testosterone and one-liners throughout this movie. And I'm just like, okay, dialogue. The Battle of Midway had a good presentation. I did like the concept. I did like its story, the presentation of the story. I just had a huge problem with the writing revolving around certain characters. Like when you watch this movie, yeah, you see some great actors, but just because you have great actors doesn't mean that the characters themselves are actually good. The characterization was definitely the detriment to this film. The performances were fine. Ed Skrein did the best he could, but I just couldn't buy him in this serious role. And him chewing gum didn't really help as much in every other scene. Just spit out the gum, guys. Just spit out the gum. So I'm going to give Midway a Michael Keaton Batman. This is an average movie at best, or pretty much an average movie. So guys, have you seen Midway? What are your thoughts? Comment below and let's talk about it. And I'll see you guys in the next review. And if you like everything you see and you agree, subscribe to my channel and join me in the Batman family. I'll have more Batman-tastic reviews in the way. You have been warned. And also, I'll have a review of Parasite, hopefully on Monday or Tuesday. Stay tuned for that. I cannot wait to review that movie. You have been warned. I think I just said that. Till then, ciao.